In 2026, the American baking aisle is under more scrutiny than ever. Between the FDA's massive 2025 to 2026 reassessment of chemical preservatives and the surge of state-level bans on synthetic dyes, the ingredients in your favorite mixes and breads are being called into question. While iconic for their convenience, many legacy brands still rely on ultra-processed additives that are being phased out in other countries due to health concerns ranging from gut microbiome disruption to potential carcinogenicity. Quick favor before we move on. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 92% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So did you subscribe already? Great, thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video. If you are aiming for a cleaner kitchen in 2026, here are 8 baking brands to reconsider. 1. Pillsbury Refrigerated Doughs. Pillsbury remains a household staple, but its refrigerated line, specifically the breadsticks and crescent rolls, is a primary target for 2026 health advocates. While the brand has made strides, many of its products still contain azotocarbonamide, ADA, a dough conditioner used to improve texture that is famously used in the production of yoga mats. In 2026, ADA is under heavy FDA review because it breaks down into urethane, a recognized carcinogen, during the baking process. Additionally, the high reliance on hydrogenated oils and TBHQ for shelf stability makes these products a far cry from fresh dough. For those looking to avoid respiratory sensitizers and synthetic conditioners, making dough from scratch or choosing organic take-and-bake alternatives is the safer 2026 play. 2. Betty Crocker Traditional Mixes. The verdict: Betty Crocker's Super Moist line has long been the gold standard for easy cakes, but in 2026, it faces criticism for its chemical-first formulation. These mixes frequently contain titanium dioxide, a whitening agent that was recently banned in the EU and is currently the subject of several 2026 U.S. class action lawsuits. Beyond the colorants, the brand's heavy use of propylene glycol esters and artificial flavor enhancers provides a texture that many professional bakers now describe as plasticky. While the price point is low, the nutritional trade-off includes high levels of sodium and synthetic dyes like red 40 and yellow 5, which are being removed from school lunches in several states this year due to links with behavioral issues in children. 3. Duncan Hines Classic Cake and Frosting. The verdict: Duncan Hines is often preferred for its deeper, chocolate flavors, but a look at the 2026 ingredient label reveals a cocktail of additives that health-conscious consumers are avoiding. The brand's frostings, in particular, are essentially whipped high-fructose corn syrup, HFCS, and partially hydrogenated oils. These frostings are also some of the most prominent users of BHA, butylated hydroxyanisole, a preservative that the FDA officially prioritized for safety reassessment in February 2026. BHA is listed as a known carcinogen under California's Proposition 65, and its continued presence in Duncan Hines shelf-stable products makes it a must-avoid for those trying to eliminate potential hormone disruptors and cancer-linked chemicals from their family's diet. 4. Entenmann's Packaged Sweet Goods. The verdict: Entenmann's remains a supermarket fixture, but in the 2026 ultra-processed food (UPF) debate, it is often cited as a prime offender. Their donuts and snack cakes are designed for a shelf life that spans weeks, achieved through a complex array of mono and diglycerides, datum, and sodium acid pyrophosphate. In 2026, research into gut health has linked these emulsifiers to chronic inflammation and leaky gut syndrome. Furthermore, the brand's heavy reliance on soybean oil and corn syrup contributes to a high caloric density with almost zero fiber or micronutrients. For many, the iconic white box now represents the stagflation light of food, a high-cost, low-quality product that uses chemical engineering to mimic the taste of real butter and sugar. 5. Sara Lee Commercial Bread and Buns. The verdict: Sara Lee is a giant in the bread aisle, but it is frequently called out in 2026 for its fake, whole grain, and potato bread options. Many of their products use potassium iodate, an ingredient the World Health Organization has advised against since 1965, yet it remains common in the US as a cheap dough strengthener. In 2026, Sara Lee's honey wheat and potato breads are also noted for containing yellow dye number 5 and number 6 to give them a healthy, golden hue. These synthetic colors provide no nutritional benefit and are increasingly banned in public schools across the country. If you want real bread, Sara Lee's ingredient list, which often reads more like a chemistry textbook than a recipe, is one to skip. 6. Little Debbie snack cakes. The verdict: Little Debbie is the budget king of the baking aisle, but you get what you pay for in terms of ingredient quality. In 2026, these products are essentially the ground zero for petroleum-based dyes. Swiss rolls and cosmic brownies are loaded with red 40, yellow 5, and blue 1, all of which are facing a total phase-out mandate from several major U.S. retailers by the end of 2027. Furthermore, the use of TBHQ, a preservative derived from petroleum, to keep the cream fillings from spoiling is a major red flag. In an era where ingredient transparency is a top priority for 34% of U.S. adults, Little Debbie's refusal to reformulate toward cleaner, natural alternatives has made it a brand to avoid for anyone concerned with long-term metabolic health. 7. Pepperidge Farm sweet and savory baked goods. The verdict: Pepperidge Farm often markets itself as a premium choice, but its 2026 ingredient profiles tell a different story. Many of their popular cookies and breads contain BHT, butylated hydroxytoluene, another preservative under the FDA's 2026 magnifying glass. While the brand uses real chocolate, it often offsets costs by including GMO soy lecithin and high amounts of added sugars. Their farmhouse line, while appearing rustic, is still classified as a highly processed food by 2026 standards, containing many of the same dough conditioners found in cheaper brands. For the price, consumers in 2026 are increasingly pivoting toward local bakeries or brands like King Arthur, which offers standard of identity, purity without the hidden synthetic stabilizers. 8. Store brands, generic value mixes. The verdict: while it is tempting to save money with Great Value or Signature Select mixes in 2026, these are often the last to remove harmful additives. Generic brands frequently use brominated flour containing potassium bromate because it is the cheapest way to ensure a high rise in bread and rolls. Potassium bromate is a potent oxidizer linked to kidney and thyroid cancers and has been banned in the UK, Canada, and the EU for decades. Because store brands operate on razor-thin margins, they are the least likely to invest in the more expensive, safer alternatives like ascorbic acid. In 2026, the value you get at the register isn't worth the chemical load you're putting in your body. The 2026 baking landscape is a reminder that convenience has a chemical cost. As we have seen with brands like Pillsbury and Little Debbie, the additives that make a cake super moist or a bread roll perfectly white are often the same ones currently being flagged by the FDA for health risks. The shift toward better-for-you baking isn't just a trend. It's a necessary pivot as the U.S. finally begins to align its food safety standards with the rest of the developed world.